Here I am, Andy Excel, back with another NFXL podcast, looking at the 2026 NFL draft classes. I've been doing an October review of every class, and I'm going to finish off with the cornerbacks. So, let's get into round one. The round one guys, as I see them right now, um, led by Jamod McCoy, a junior at Tennessee. Our pre-season, this was my comments. I said he transferred from Tennessee to Tennessee from Oregon State following a freshman year and had 6 interceptions and 16 passes defended across the last 2 seasons. One of the leading prospects at cornerback, his instincts and competitiveness are of the highest level and mark him as a real ball hawking type, but could improve his tackling techniques. Suffered a torn ACL in January that puts his 2025 season in doubt. How he recovers and returns from that injury will have huge draft implications. And the truth there is he's yet to play in 2025. But despite that, he still remains the number one candidate on my list and probably still around one. But he needs to get back in action or at least show that he's recovered from that injury in some way, shape, or form. So number 2 is still Avion Terrell, a junior at Clemson. Now, Terrell's made a good start to 2025 with 25 tackles, a sack, 6 passes disrupted, and 3 forced fumbles, and he remains on course for a round 1 pick. Up 1 place to number 3 and into round 1, so on the rise, is Mansour Delaney at senior at LSU, 6'1", 187 pounds with a 4.44.40. Taken from DraftBuzz, those numbers. Pre-season, I said he was a natural defensive back who has really good all-round abilities, although a bit on the skinny side and has a tendency to ball hawk a bit too much. His desire to make the big play can sometimes losing track of his man. But in his first 6 games for LSU, he's made 25 tackles, had 1 pick and disrupted 5 passes. And looking so good for a top school has bolstered him up 1 spot and into round 1. Now moving in the other direction, dropping down 1 spot and therefore into round 2 is AJ Harris, a junior at Penn State. He's had a relatively quiet start to the season, so that's dropped him out of round 1 and down into round 2. Now coming in at 5 is a new name, Colton Hood, sophomore at Tennessee, 6 foot, 195 pound, 4.43.40. He spent a freshman year at Auburn, then moved to Colorado for 2024, and now lends in Tennessee. And boy, has he made an impact in his first 6 games for them. 23 tackles, 6 passes disrupted, a pick 6, and a fumble recovery for another score, and vaulted him into top number 5 on my list. Excuse me, coughing and wheezing, but cold's got me at the moment. I'll have a quick drink and see how I go. So referring to Hood, some of his attributes will make some scouts draw, but inconsistently against the run. Plus, moving from school to school will raise concerns and doubt for others. He needs to keep producing to convince the doubters, but is there every chance he gets enough love to get a round 2 pick, providing he keeps producing? So he's coming to my list in 5. Moving up 2 spots to 6 is Damani Jackson, a senior at Alabama. He's had a quiet start for Emma, but he's still moved up because I think other people are doing even less. And Bama are going well, so he's benefiting from that. Up 4 spots to 7 from 11 is another junior, this time from Arizona State, Keith Abney. A good all-rounder, has decent size and speed, an excellent tackler with good instincts. A strong 2025 could well secure a day 2 pick for him. Then my pre-season comments, and like I said, he's up 4 spots after a fine start to the season for the Sun Devils with 16 tackles, a pick, a forced fumble, and 5 passes disrupted. So doing really well, Abney, so far. Dayton Everett was 7 in my original list and drops down 1 spot after a slowish spot to start the season compared to others I've already mentioned. Will Lee III is a senior at Texas A&M. He's up 1 spot and into round 2 right now, playing really well, but he's also benefiting from the Aggies making a strong start to the season. Moving in the other direction, a big style down 5 spots to 10 is Malik Muhammad, a junior at Texas. Does have a couple of picks and still in line for a round 2 pick, but probably dropped below others right now. Then we've got DJ McKinney. It was 9 on my original list, so he's dropped a couple of spots. Um, and he's not stepped up on his 2024 performances so far. I said pre-season that with Travis Hunter now in the NFL, it was an opportunity for McKinney to shine or not. Well, at the moment, it's not quite so much. So he's dropped a couple of spots. Joining him at the end of round 2 is Chandler Rivers, a senior at Duke. He's made a good start to the season and he's right now on the edge of round 2 or 3. Right on the borderline, but he's doing well so far. Another quick drink. This throat's really killing me. Hope it's not putting you off too much. So moving up and into round 3, and was 15 on my original list. We moved up 2 spots. Xavier Scott, senior at Illinois. He's likely to miss the rest of the season injured though, so I need to show he is over that injury to convince teams to use a day 2 pick on him. But he's prior to the injury, he was showing up really well. And as a nickelback type might be in a niche that people look for. Dropping into round 4 was my 6th pre-season. That's Jason Kilgore, junior at South Carolina. He's down 8 spots, and as well as going into round 4. He's not really shot in the first part of the season at all. Davison Igbunison was my previous number 16. With others such as Caleb Downs, Arthur Reese, and Sonny Styles taking the limelight at Ohio State, Igbunison is quietly going about his work, but not really doing anything that enhances his draft stocks thus far. Pre-season 14 was D'Angelo Pons, so he's down into round 4 as well. But he's at Indiana, and like Igbunison, others are grabbing the headlines for the Hoosiers, but Pons is having a knife enough season and could still get a day 2 pick on the back of those efforts. But probably needs to do a bit more than he is at the moment. Another on the decline, draft stock wise, was 13 preseason is Tacario Davis, the senior at Arizona. Did okay in his first 3 games, but missing time hurt right now, so continues to slide draft wise, dropping 4 spots on my list and into round 4 as a result, unless he gets back in action and plays well. So they were all the ones I had in my, and 1 or 2 additions that I had in my pre-season list. One more I've added on to the end of the list is Chris Johnson, a senior at San Diego State, 6 foot, 185 pound, 455, 40. He scrapes onto this list at 18 right now, still in round 4 territory, but he's had a spectacular start to the season for San Diego State. 32 tackles, 3 picks, 2 for touchdowns, 6 passes disrupted, and a forced fumble. That's going to get you noticed. But when you look at his measurables, scouts look the type of things they look for in terms of size, length, speed. That he's really missing in that category. So he's got to do a lot on the field to convince people. But he looks like a ball hawking gambler and may have limitations at the next level. But he's off to a spectacular start to 2025. Can he keep it going though? So that's a look at how I see the top end of the cornerback class at the moment. Really not a lot going on overall and still forming itself into any particular shape. Mansour Delaney, Colton Hood, Damani Jackson, Keith Abney are probably the ones that have really shone so far. With others like DJ McKinney and Jalen Kilgore, Tacario Davis, all on a little bit of a slide. So that's it for me. That rounds out my positional reviews during October. During November sometime, I'm probably going to try and go through even my top 50 or top 100 as they stand now, regardless of position, just to give you an idea of who we're looking at for the first couple of rounds or maybe 3 rounds. So I'll come back with that sometime in November. But in the meantime, I'll be back with my normal weekly look at the current NFL action. So see you soon.